Hi guys, it's Blackie again from Shaman's Forge Bushcraft. And today I would like to talk about a knife that I mentioned in my pocket knife video. Those knives are the Rough Rider knives. Now I've got a couple examples of them here that I would like to show you up close. I've been very impressed with these knives, especially for the price and the quality. The price is dirt cheap. The quality is amazingly good. Back last year I had someone that I know and trust had pointed out to me that they had started collecting these knives. Now my friend collects a lot of case knives, hen and rooster, a lot of very nice Pumas, a lot of knives that are $300 and $400 a pocket knife because they're more art than they are knife. So when he said he was collecting these knives, I went, are they made out of gold plate or something? And he said no, and he began telling me the virtues of them, the quality of them. It is a Chinese, they're made in China, but they're good quality, and that's what kind of, So when I did my first pocket knife video, and I talked about the virtues of the trapper, and etc., for Christmas, my friend sent me two of these knives. The Christmas knife and this real pretty one, which I'll show you up close. I used the Christmas one, and I have used this one now, and I've got to be honest, I'm blown away. For the price, I fully expected an absolute utter piece of junk. Now when I say the price, this knife delivered to my door's price is $11. That includes shipping. 11. Yeah, I know, you're ready to turn the video right now. Blackie's gone off the deep end. Blackie's sponsoring something. No, I've never lied to you, and I'm not lying to you now. This is the knife I fell in love with, and I'm going to show you a close-up of it here in a minute. This is actual bone handles in both cases, brass bolsters, brass liners, stainless steel blades, hollow ground blades that come to a razor sharp. They ain't kidding when they ship it to you. These are razor sharp. Excellent bevels all the way. The springs in them lock. Lock. Good. When they close, they snap. It's got all the features. Everything is blended smoothly. No sharp edges anywhere. And I'm going to make a statement here that I'm probably going to get a lot of flack over, but I'm going to be honest, guys. If I didn't know anything about this and you laid this knife on the table in front of me, I would have thought it was a case. I'm not trying to take away from case. I'm not trying to hype up. I get nothing. I am not in any way a sponsor for these people. I would honestly think that was a case knife. It's that good. I've used them in field craft. I've used them to clean a deer here a couple of days ago. It held its edge well. This is not state-of-the-art steel. It's 440, but it's good 440, which means it's easy to sharpen. It's not super hard. Alright, let me clarify, guys. My main problem with like a buck knife is buck knives are super hardness. They're in the 60s, like a chisel. That makes them super tough, and their bragging right, their selling right is those knives will not dull easily. That is very true. It is also very true that when they finally do get dull, everything will get dull eventually. When they do get dull, only a diamond hone will sharpen it. Otherwise, you're going to sit there for hours trying to sharpen that knife. It'll skid on a file. These knives come with a razor edge. I carry a hone anyway. And after 20 minutes of cleaning a deer, when I wiped the blade, it still had a really good edge. I honed it a few strokes, and it's still like a razor. Because I'm going to maintain my knife. I'm old school. I came up with cheap junk knives. We couldn't afford any better. So you hand me a good knife, I appreciate it. These are good knives. And I would like to recommend these knives if money is a factor. Look at these, just like I said in my video. If money's not, go for a case. I will always endorse American companies first. Please, go get a case. But if you can't afford the $60 or $70 for a lot of the case knives, look at these. These are good quality. Okay, let me show you a close-up now. Bear with me, guys. I'm trying to look at the viewfinder at the same time. Okay. All brass bolster. Very, very nice design. Everything is smooth, slick. The knives click open. I don't know if you can hear it. And snap closed. Once they're in place, they stay there. These are tough springs on these things. This isn't something that you can just, you know, take your finger to. You got to bear down to close these. These are good springs. This one is my absolute favorite. This thing is beautiful. It's number 474. That rounded emblem in it. Hologram, razor sharp. I will use these this year a lot more, and I'll give you a report of how they hold up in the long run. But I have to honestly tell you guys, I'm very impressed with these. Very, very impressed. I'll include some up close pictures at the end to let you see it even better. Now, one other knife I'd like to show to you. Like you got a lot of knives for Christmas. Marbles makes a U.S. Army knife. Now, everybody's heard of these, the demo knife. They got that name hung on to them because they came in the demolition kits. And one of the first things that got issued beginning World War II, that or just before it, was in the demo kit. But it was actually the U.S. Army pocket knife, and it's got U.S. stepped on it. All stainless steel, the big bail. It's made by the Marbles Knife Company. This nice big broad blade. Now, when the U.S. Army adopted this before World War II, it was because this is very, very similar to the old Boy Scout knife that would issue at the day. I mean, you got the old claw can opener, the bottle opener screwdriver, and on this side you got a leather awl. It's got such a tight spring in it, I have a tough time opening it. Right there. They added stainless steel out of it, made it slab metal, and this big old bail so that it could slide on the handle of a canteen cup or on the mess kit to be sterilized in boiling water. That big broad spear tip blade has a lot of advantages when you consider at that day and time the military rations came in little round cans. They were called K rations and later C rations. This would, you had P38, but you opened the can and that broad blade was good for digging out food out of those cans, for taking the peanut butter, smearing it, for the cheese, smearing it. That's what that broad blade's really good for. It's good for cutting, and it's also good for smearing. Now, for example, the knife I just talked about, if you took a clip point and you're trying to dig down in there and get some peanut butter, you're going to make a lot of passes because that narrow blade just don't grab a lot. That big wide blade sticking down in that can will get a lot of food out and therefore will smear better. If you're looking for a pocket knife for reenactment, for a lot of you guys that do World War II reenactment or military, or you were in the military and you had one of these are good knives. I had one for God knows how many years and finally gave it away to a young man who's about 6 now. He wanted his first pocket knife and the blade was snapped off so it was square on the end. We rounded it so there was no sharp edges, and it's basically a can opener screwdriver, and that's his knife, you know. He can't hurt himself with it. But someone thought enough of Blackie at Christmas to give Blackie one of these for Christmas. And again, it's made by Marbles. And if you're looking for a U.S. Army pocket knife, hey, these are good, available, and not expensive. And is at least as good a quality U.S. military issue. Okay, guys, that's it for Blackie this installment. As I've said before, I'm not getting anything for this, guys. Nobody's sending me this to evaluate so I get free stuff. That's not me. I do get a piece of gear every so often. I've got one I'm going to be reviewing here pretty shortly that is a fire starter, and it was because I was asked by one of my subscribers to look at it and to give an honest eval, and I will be presenting that to y'all in an upcoming video. I don't subscribe to the idea of, you see a lot of YouTube channels where people start out pretty good and then after a while all they do is they're admin for some new product. That's not me. If I honestly think that a piece of gear is a good piece of gear, I'm going to tell you. If I don't, you'll never hear about it. I've had a ton of pocket knives over the years that were no good and crap, and you'll never hear me mention the name of them and endorse them because they're crap. When I said cold steel tomahawk, good knife, a good hawk, I'll endorse it because that's a good piece of steel. I want you guys to have good gear. It's your personal choice, your personal gear. Put forth the effort. What do you need? Look at my pocket knife video if you haven't seen it yet and see what the blades are for in these knives. What do you need for your bushcraft, for your personal carry, for your EDC? Get it and go with it. This U.S. Army knife, that's going in my EDC because that broad blade is really good for a lot of little things in campcraft. And so that's what I want this for. I want the can opener, screwdriver, and etc. I carry a Swiss Army knife every day. This blade's wider. And for camp chores, I like this. I like this one better for peeling potatoes and stuff and for camp stuff. It's what it was originally designed for. It does good. So it's going into that gear package. That'll go with my camping pack. And this will become the knife that stays in the camping pack. That's what that's good for me. Okay. I've wound on long enough. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft, wishing you safe journeys and have a great day, guys.